Hey YouTube, Tweak here, bringing you all an update to my Kuriboh Yugioh deck profile for post-Battle of Chaos. I was pleasantly surprised when I discovered we were getting a new Kuriboh support card in the booster set in the form of Skilled Brown Magician. This card definitely does focus on the playstyle of Kuriboh, giving us plenty of options in the deck to utilize what is the Kuriboh brothers and their 5-star Twilight spell card. It was definitely made specifically for this deck. So happy with the support, and I've been testing around since the Brothers of Legend release all the other Kuriboh cards. Happy with the updates I've made with the deck. It definitely does feel more Kuriboh-y, if that's even a word. But let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the newest card from the Battle of Chaos set, and that is Skilled Brown Magician. Initially, I thought I would try and incorporate Magic Kuriboh into the deck, but that card is really more for the Dark Magician deck. It doesn't really work well in the Kuriboh deck unless you want to include Dark Magician Girl and Dark Magician, and then it just gets very, very messy mixing around those ratios. But Skilled Brown Magician definitely does fit in with the deck. Each time a spell card is activated, you place one spell counter on this card, and that spell resolves maximum 3. You can remove one spell counter from this card and then activate one of these effects. This card gains 1500 attack and its level is increased by 1. Or you can add one Kuriboh monster or one multiply from your graveyard or deck to your hand, and you can only use this effect of Skilled Brown Magician once per turn. So this really does help with the playstyle of the deck, because for cards like our 5-star Twilight, we need a level 5 monster on the field, and this card meets the requirements quite easily, just being able to normal summon this card, activating a spell, and then making it a level 5, giving us the option then for either searching out a Kuriboh card or adding the option of tributing it as a level 5 monster on the field to use with 5-star Twilight. Both the options are very, very useful, being a searcher, so it's a definite 3 of in the deck. We are still running the 3 original Kuriboh as well. This is just your go-to hand trap for stopping battle damage, but this card also revolves around a lot of the other plays. Having a multiply searcher makes it all the better, because you can, have Kuriboh and easily search out multiply to your hand to give you a bunch of Kuriboh tokens on the field to use afterwards. And I still run the 3 Curry Babylon. It gains 300 attack and defense for each Kuriboh monster you control and in your graveyard. And you can only use one of the following effects of Curry Babylon per turn, and only once that turn. If you have more monsters in your graveyard than your opponent, you can special summon this card from your hand. And during your main or battle phase, you can return this card to the hand, and if you do special summon 5 monsters, 1 Kuriboh, 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 and Kuriboh, and 1 Kuriboh from your hand and or graveyard in attack position. So this gives you the option for more resources on the field. Curry Babylon, being a level 5 monster, can potentially also work with the 5-star Twilight. But I'd say it's more easily set up with some of the other cards. You can leave the level 5 spot for Skilled Brown Magician and one other monster we run in the deck. For the actual Kuriboh brothers, I run 2 Kuriboh. This card's always treated as a Kuriboh card, as all of the Kuriboh brothers are. Quick effect, you can discard this card, and then target one Kuriboh monster you control, gains 1500 attack, and you can tribute this card and one of each Kuriboh, 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 and Kuriboh from your hand and or field, and add 1 Curry Bandit from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Then immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon 1 Fiend monster from your hand. So the option for the normal summon of Curry Bandit can also set up more Kuriboh monsters to power up your Curry Babylon on the field when you summon it by setting up in the graveyard, and giving you a search for potentially a spell or trap you may need for that play. I do run the 1 Curry Bandit, we'll get to it in just a bit. It's really all you need for the card to be able to be searched out, thanks to Kuriboh. I also run 2 Kuriboh. All the Kuriboh brothers add something different to the deck. It's also why I like to run 2 of each copy. There are some other draw power in the deck, but relying on the 2 ofs for each one at least gives you that consistency in case your opponent tries to banish one of the brothers with cards like DD Crow or Call by the Grave. When this card or another Kuriboh card you control is destroyed by battle, you can special summon 1 monster with 300 attack and defense from your deck, except for your Kuriboh. So that is another special summon target for Skilled Brown Magician, having the stats the same as Kuriboh. So a great search option there. And you can only use this effect of Kuriboh once per turn. You contribute this card you control and one of each Kuriboh, 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 and Kuriboh from your hand and or field to special summon 1 Curry Babylon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Getting Babylon on the field, setting up all the Kuribohs and Kuriboh brothers in the graveyard to then use with Curry Babylon, or just having the boosted attack power of this card reaching some pretty high numbers thanks to all those different Kuribohs in your graveyard. And I also run 2 Kuriboh. This one is when it is our another Kuriboh monster is destroyed by battle. You can add 1 spell or trap from your deck to your hand that lists a Kuriboh card in its text. You can only use this effect of Kuriboh once per turn. And once per turn, when an opponent's monster declares an attack while you control another Kuriboh monster, you can change the attack of all other monsters you control to 0 until the end of this turn. And if you do, negate the attack. So you're going to be playing more of a defensive style with this card anyway. So having those cards hit 0 won't really matter much, just to negate that 1 attack. But also being able to search out the spell or trap that lists Kuriboh gives us more and more options, including searching cards like the 5-star Twilight or the Flute of Summoning Kuriboh to our hand. And then the last of the brothers is Kuriboh. With this card, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can discard this card and add 1 Kuriboh from your deck to your hand, except for Kuriboh. And once per turn quick effect, you can discard 1 trap, then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses 1500 attack to the end of this turn. We only run 1 trap in the deck. It doesn't use this card effect as often. It's more for the search for Kuriboh, then giving us another monster that we can discard to the graveyard to protect us from that battle damage. And I also run 2 Wing Kuriboh. It's a good card for defense, stopping any battle damage for the rest of the turn. After this card on the field is destroyed, it's another target for Flute of Summoning Kuriboh. I feel all you need is 2, though. It helps with the numbers of Kuribohs you can build up in the graveyard. But one of the better ones for recovery resources is Kuriboh. Once again, only 2, though. It's all you need. It sets up any other monsters you may have lost on the field back onto the field at the end of the battle phase, discarding this card and targeting that monster in the graveyard that was destroyed by battle this turn. And when an opponent's monster declares an attack, banishing this card from your graveyard to target any of the Kuriboh monsters in your graveyard and special summon them. That definitely does come in handy a lot more with all the different Kuribohs we run in this deck. And then lastly, for the Kuriboh related cards, 1 Curry Bandit. This card is in the deck mostly because it does work for the option of setting it up on the field with your Kuriboh as the additional normal summon and resource. And like I said, during the end phase, if this card was normal summon this turn, you contribute this card to excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, add 1 excavated spell or trap to your hand, and send the remaining cards to the graveyard, setting up more Kuribohs in your graveyard along with any additional brothers you may want to send, powering up a potential Curry Babylon you can summon out, and then giving you the spell or trap you may need to your hand. For more additional level 5 power, I really do like Skilled Brown Magician, but for the last of the main deck monsters, I'm also running 3 Red-Haired Hasty Horse. It's just another preference. Having a free column to special summon this card gives us that level 5 monster to use with 5-star Twilight, and they both work very, very well together. Having that special summon or the normal summon available, you can have all these options going first, unlike when I ran Cyber Dragon, you had to go second since your opponent had to control a monster. If you have these cards as your option, you have no fear there. You just have that special summon to go into and then have that resource with your 5-star Twilight. That is it for the monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. I spoke of this card long enough, but we're running 3 5-star Twilight. If the only monster you control is 1 level 5 monster, tribute that monster to special summon 5 monsters, 1 Kuriboh, 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 and Kuriboh from your hand, deck, and or graveyard, but they cannot be tributed for a tribute summon. You can only activate 1 5-star Twilight per turn. This, turning 1 monster into 5, makes all of our extra deck plays, all of our additional Kuriboh brother plays, you name it. You summon all 5 onto the field, and the resources are endless with this play. It's why you want to run 3, why we have so many level 5 options for the summon. Even if you control 1 additional monster, just being able to summon out Curry Babylon can be enough to use with the 5-star Twilight, but the easiest plays definitely do come in the form of Skilled Brown Magician and your Red-Haired Hasty Horse. For some of the lower numbers, I also run 2 Flute of Summoning Kuriboh. If I had max numbers of Wing Kuriboh in the deck, I may consider running this card at 3. And another option would be just for the fact to build up the counter for our Skilled Brown Magician. This card can't be searched with it. You can only search Multiply. If you want to run an additional copy of Flute of Summoning Kuriboh, you can reduce the number of Multiply that you run. I have 2 in the deck, but since it is searchable with Skilled Brown Magician, you may potentially only need 1, since the card specifies that you add it from the deck or graveyard. So if you wanted to run 3 copies of Flute of Summoning Kuriboh, you could take out 1 of this card, because you really will only need the 1 to then tribute out your Kuriboh to give you the Kuriboh tokens on the field. Once again, one of a more defensive play, since it's a lot easier to summon out the Kuriboh brothers in the deck to use. For more additional draw power, I also run 2 Allure of Darkness. Now, there are some monsters in the deck like Kuriboh that are light attribute, or even are red-haired Hasty Horse being wind attribute, but the majority are dark attribute, so just more draw power, especially if you have multiples of some of the brothers in your hand. Being able to banish one just to give you a better draw resource to go into is what I like about Allure of Darkness in the deck. And for some of the one-ofs for the spells, I run 1 Call by the Grave, shutting down opponent's graveyard plays, whether it be hand traps or their own monsters. 1 for 1. This can hit pretty much any monster that we play in the deck and get it onto the field. And lastly, 1 Monster Reborn, another resource play, especially if you have this being the target for your Skilled Brown Magician, having it on the field, getting another monster on the field, giving you the level 5 play on the field to make use of. Just remember, with the 5-star Twilight, you have to only control 1 level 5 monster on the field to use, and then summon out all the other 5 monsters. So you want to avoid the Monster Reborn play or any of the other special summon plays. You want to focus more on some other spell setup. And now for the traps. The only trap that we run in the deck is Infinite Permanence. It can work with Kuriboh pretty easily, but it's more for the setup of just stopping your opponent's card effects. It's, I would say, a lot better than that. Kuriboh, I rarely have to use it for that play, but it's the only other trap option that we run in the deck to do it. And that is it for the main deck. When I move on to the extra deck, I run 1 Link Kuriboh, very, very fitting for the Kuriboh deck. It just helps with more and more of the attack negation your opponent may try against us. 2 Wee Witch's Apprentice for the Dark Attribute boost for the different Kuribohs we run in the deck. For other Link 2s, 1 Nightmare Phoenix and 1 Nightmare Cerberus, along with 1 Underclock Taker. For the Link 3s, I run 1 Nightmare Unicorn. The Link 4s, a bigger roster, just because we have better options with all the different monsters we run. So 1 Apollosa, 1 Borreload, and 1 Axis Kotaker. And for the Xyz monsters, I run 1 Lyrilusk Ensemble Robin. It doesn't have anything to do with the Lyrilusk. It's in here mostly for the special summon bounce that this card can do, and it just needs 2 or more level 1 monsters. So if you can use all 5 of your brothers to summon this card out, you can really stop a good number of different special summons your opponent may have on the field. Also, 1 Slacker Magician, another defensive card, Sylvan Princess Sprite for the Spell and Trap Search. And then with these cards attacking, 1 Downward Magician and 1 Divine Arsenal Zeus for the added options of going into the Xyz plays and just getting rid of all the other different cards on the field. As for some of the go-to plays, I spoke of some of my favorites being revolving around the Skilled Brown Magician for the spell activation, increasing the counters on this card, giving you the attack boost along with the additional play of the search for Kuriboh or multiply to your hand. One of my favorites revolves just around the Allure of Darkness option because you can summon out your Skilled Brown Magician, activate the Allure of Darkness, putting the counter on the Skilled Brown Magician. Depending on what you banish, he can either be an additional copy of the Skilled Brown Magician, since you only need the 1 for the play, and then drawing into the 5-star Twilight, since you will then get rid of the 1 counter off Skilled Brown Magician, making it a level 5, activating your 5-star Twilight, tributing out the level 5 monster to summon out the Kuriboh brothers, along with the 1 Kuriboh from the deck. And with that, you have 5 resources on the field that you can either use to summon out your Babylon, or even overlaying, like I said, all of them into the Ensemble Robin for more of a defensive play against your opponent, or going for the Link 4 option, which you can use 2 of them to go into a Link 2 monster of choice, using the other 3 with the Link 2 to then also summon out your Apollosa, which will have the 4 negates on it alone, thanks to just the 2 cards you used from the start, being the 1 spell and the 1 Skilled Brown Magician. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, definitely happy when I can always update Kuriboh. Sometimes I just like to update it because it feels like it's been a while, but whenever we get new support, that definitely makes me want to update the deck even more. And I hope you all enjoyed. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Twig out.